Hi. Algorithms, algorithms, algorithms. It's all we ever hear about on LinkedIn, isn't it? Today, what I want to share with you is a really insightful top tip that gets you beyond thinking that algorithms are the thing to achieve and to understand on LinkedIn. It's not all about algorithms, it's about authenticity. Today, I want to share with you something that I really go into more deeply in my LinkedIn training program. And it's really fundamentally important to understand this concept. So let me walk it through with you. There's some truth in the fact that there are certain things we can do to make the algorithms work for us without any shadow of a doubt. The use of some hashtags, having quality in-depth content on our profile, not just be short and curt on our messaging and on our content in particular, but to have some depth to it. So there are lots of tips like that. In fact, I've got 6 top tips to share with you at some point in time. But today I want to go into one thing that you may not understand as clearly as you should in order to make your time and effort on LinkedIn turn into a success for you. So here it is. It's about authenticity. It's about being the real you in your content. It's not about matching algorithms. It's just about having a personality. You'll have heard the expression many times, people buy people first. And it's never been truer. Our online presence is so important these days, especially with the experience we've all had over the last couple of years. Having a personal brand of which we're proud of, particularly on LinkedIn and other social media platforms, is really, really critical. So my advice to you today is be you, be authentic. Be personal. There's no doubt that the success factor on LinkedIn comes from not just being business-like, not just being corporate, but having a personality, being the real you, sharing a little bit of life's experiences along that journey we're all traveling. Because tell you what, nobody's life is Instagram perfect. And actually sharing some of those trials and tribulations that we've got on this journey just makes you the human being that I would want to work with. And that's the important thing. Also, what we need to do is we need to give value. There is no point in putting things out on LinkedIn, particularly thinking of the target audience you're trying to attract, if you're not delivering value. And delivering value often comes from sharing knowledge. You know what? Sharing knowledge is one of the most powerful things you can do. Not everybody is an expert in your field. So one of the ways that you can impress and build an audience that builds trust and confidence in you for the future is by sharing that knowledge, just snippets of knowledge in concise, valuable sentences and posts. That means that the people looking in at you are building confidence in your personal brand, little by little over the long term. Really, really important. And you also need to be consistent. There's no point in getting to a Friday afternoon thinking, oh, I've not been on LinkedIn all week. I'll spend a couple of hours on LinkedIn and catch up with what I should have been doing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Do you know what? It doesn't work like that. You have to be on LinkedIn a little and often for it really to benefit you. And my suggestion is 15, 20 minutes a day, but I'll go into that in more detail in some other point in time. So being consistent and being there on a regular basis is really important. Now, all very well, you say, and here's my top tip. Many of you out there have a fear of simply engaging and posting content on LinkedIn. One of my biggest challenges, despite all the wealth of knowledge I can share with you, is you getting over the hurdle of just being able to communicate on the platform. 90% of people on LinkedIn are what you might call lurkers. They're passers-by. They look at the content, they don't interact with it. If we're lucky, we might get a like from them. Very, very occasionally, we might get a comment. But you know what? Most people just look in and follow and watch. And we think to ourselves, what do I do to get into that space where I feel confident to get out there and put something on the platform? And it's my biggest hurdle ever. So here's my top tip. Just start to engage with that content that other people are producing before think of actually posting your own. Begin to like, use the reactions options on a person's post that you respect, that you enjoy, that you gain something from, and begin to add in the comments section what it is that you've enjoyed or taken from the content of their post. Doing this begins to help you form your tone of voice, I call it, your ability to have that conversation with an audience. And very quickly, what you find is when other people start reacting to what you've said, your confidence builds to find the voice and the opportunity to then begin to think about posting your own content in the future. So it's not just all about posting initially, it's about engaging with other people's content, which also builds up your tribe. Those people really value you commenting and putting your opinions on your advice and your knowledge and your sharing into their posts. And one of the most beneficial things you can do is actually communicate on other people's content. It's not all about you. It's not all about posting your own content. It's engaging with other people's content on the platform. And believe me, this really helps you build your tribe, build your presence, helps you build your tone of voice, and gets you into that place where ultimately you'll feel confident to post your own content. Now, I'm just going to throw in something else while I'm at it. You may think to yourself, once you start this journey, you posted something, you get very little reaction. Nobody likes, few people comment, and the view numbers are really low. Do you know what? So few of us on LinkedIn are superstars, okay? I'm certainly not a superstar. Very few people are influencers. Most of us are just ordinary people doing ordinary things. But actually, LinkedIn wants our content. It really does. You might think that with nearly 800 million people on LinkedIn now, that your content's never ever going to find a place on the platform. That is simply not true. Amongst your connections and the algorithmic connectivity between you and the audience you're trying to reach, when you're sharing value, the vocabulary of the content you're sharing will find its way to the doorstep of those that you're connected to and those are second or even third degree connections that might be interested in your topics of interest, because that's what LinkedIn's there to do. It's there to join the dots on the content that we're putting out there between what we produce and what other people might enjoy. And LinkedIn wants its content from us to do that job. It wants to have us on the platform. How does it keep us on the platform? It's by putting content in front of each of us that we get some value from. That means we keep coming back to this place, especially on our home page feed, and we're finding value from being there. And it gives us opportunity to share our knowledge and discuss in conversation with other people, old and new, some things that get us into that conversation of the future with the target customer that we'd like that conversation with. So in summary, my top tip today is be engaging on LinkedIn. Don't worry too much about posting if you've got the fear factor. It's not about posting initially. It's about engaging with other people's content. And you'll find if you do that, it helps you leverage to get into that place where ultimately you will have the confidence to post material yourself. That's today's top tip. I hope you enjoyed that. Go and try it if you've been fearful of posting on LinkedIn in the past. Get in there, start commenting, and do it today to make a difference to your success in the future. Good luck on LinkedIn.